So I watched Avatar: The Way of the Water the other day, and I have mixed feelings for the 3-hour 12-minute film. The story briefly, well, it's like the original Avatar. The Na'vi are living peacefully on Pandora, and Jake Sully now has a family, 2 boys and 2 girls, one of which is adopted, the Sigourney Weaver character. Everybody is happy, and then the humans return to apparently prepare the planet for human habitation as the Earth is failing. The humans tear up the planet and the big fight starts again. Fast forward 1 year and the Colonel Quaritch, who had been killed at the end of Avatar 1, has returned in a Na'vi avatar body to infiltrate the natives. Having had his memories and personality transferred into an avatar, his mission is to find and kill Jake Sully as the leader of the resistance. Realizing his family is in danger, Jake Sully escapes to the Sea People, and Jake's family attempts to integrate where there is some teenage angst. The general eventually tracks down Jake Sully, and there's another big fight at the end, this time over the sea or in the sea. So the good things. The visuals are great, as you might expect, and there's a lot of positive about the presentation of a strong nuclear family relationship. Jake Sully is a firm father and is trying to instill responsibility to his 2 sons while being protective of his 2 daughters. It's a good role model, a bit simple and clunky at times, but on the whole it's okay. Now the bad, or the blue, as it were. So the story is really a repeat of Avatar 1. There's nothing really new there. The hunting down of Jake Sully by the invaders led by this bad Colonel Quaritch, and everybody else gets pulled into the fight. Rather than the jungle and the skies, it is on or under the water. Broadly speaking, it's a repeat of the first film rather than a development. The family element is good and positive, especially in this day and age of film, but the baddies are just the same. So the dialogue, or rather the language, what is a shame is that vast amount of effort is put in trying to transport the viewer to another world visually, but nothing on orally or in terms of culture. All the language could be spoken by a modern day West Coast teenage American. So how can the viewer suspend disbelief and think these aliens, the blue Na'vi people, call each other bro and exclaim shit, holy shit, and utter words such as moron, insane? I understand it is to help the modern day viewer relate to the characters on screen, but it breaks the spell of a different time and a different place. So why not show the young Na'vi behaving differently in some way, using different terms to insult or bond with each other? I realise that Jake Sully was originally a human, and so they're copying his language, but it also seems to apply to the teenagers from the Sea People as well. There were also other little references that broke the spell of time and place, and I wondered how they ever got left in the script. The Colonel even asked one of his team to retrieve the footage from the dash cam of an exoskeleton. I have a dashboard camera, it's broken, but I'm centuries away from the events and on the other side of the galaxy from Pandora. Characterization. I struggled with the stereotypical baddies. It was the usual 2-dimensional, shouty, gung-ho, bubblegum chewing Marines and the Bermuda shirt wearing loud aggressive whale hunters. In terms of their attitude, none seemed to be seasoned professionals. In a modern day sense, they were mostly cartoonish. It was James Cameron back to his 1980s alien space marine heyday. But why do the baddies have to be so dated? I was hoping for a bit more nuance. There was no inner conflict within human invaders. All are bad through and through. You would have thought that humans would have developed a bit more if they'd been conducting business across the galaxy over the centuries. The whale hunting theme worked fine, but I'd like to know how the humans, having been kicked off the planet a decade or so before, had found out that the golden juice from the brain of a whale stopped human aging. The acting, I realised that motion capture might limit facial expressions, but sometimes I felt it was a little bit lacking, a bit too much hand-waving from Sam Worthington's Jake Sully, and the human general, played by Eddie Falco, was flat. I don't know if it was it's a bit of the writing, a bit of the acting, and a bit of the direction, but again, just flat. Finally, one plot point. The human teenager who was left behind after the humans were originally kicked off the planet, a character called Spider, who had gone native and became like family with Jake Sully's family, was an irritating character and pretty inconsistent. He repeatedly betrayed the Na'vi and eventually does the ultimate betrayal by saving the ultimate baddie, Colonel Quaritch. And why did he do this? Because he's genetically related to the original, now deceased baddie Colonel. The Colonel, as the Na'vi avatar, had been repeatedly murderous to Spider's, this young human boy's adoptive family. It just didn't make sense. Although in some ways it does, because now we know what Avatar 3 is going to be about. It'll be about the Colonel Quaritch chasing down Sully again. So at 3 hours, it does not drag. It could have been a bit tighter. Lots of wonderful shots of flying through skies and swimming through the bluest of waters. Technically, it was fantastic. On the whole, I don't think it will get repeat viewings like Avatar 1 had, so its box office will not compare to the first film. First film was also so technologically novel that it made it captivating. I saw it twice in the cinema for that reason. Although undoubtedly impressive, the novelty has gone. Now, you need the story to really pull in the audience. That said, it is perfectly decent entertainment for youngsters and they will love it. Credit for the positive family message and the sheer technical ambition of James Cameron. We need filmmakers like him to push boundaries. But if you're a bit older and a bit more difficult to impress, you might roll your eyes a little and sigh and even feel a little bit blue.
davidozeus.uk